So I just kind of realized while sitting down that I disappeared for 2 weeks and then just came back, started making videos, and never explained, like, what was going on. Like, also, we're in greed. This will become relevant. You'll see why we're in greed specifically later. But anyway, so to give you the story of what happened, right, is I didn't die. What actually happened is I moved house first, which means I had I had no internet. And then the day the internet came back, me and Lasagna went to Greece, which is why, you know, we're in fraud. Not yeah, oh my god, we're in fraud. Oh my god. Fucking damn it. We're in, greed. Yeah, that's the word. Because, oh my god, it may as well have been greed. How fucking hot it was. But okay, so we're gonna give you a little bit of context, right? My entire life before university, I have lived in the same house. One house, not my whole life, but I haven't moved house since I was 2 years old. I'm 19, so it's quite a while. Quite a while. So I'm in uni this year, right? You know, we're chilling. And for this summer, because in the UK, the way it works is, I know it's different in other countries. Over here, most people live in like a uni dorm for their first year, and then move out and find like their own like actual place later. Right, that's how it works here. So I'm not in uni like dorms anymore. We call them halls here. I don't actually know why, just do. And I'm back home, and my parents have decided, which yeah, I just think this is funny, right? Like it's not like I resent them for this. I just think it's funny. That, you know, I'm moving house in early June, and I'm moving back to uni in early September. So early July is the best time to move house for the first time in 17 years, right? That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm so, oh, that's so cool. That's so lovely. And then, of course, because I'm English, anything above 10 degrees, you know, it kills us. And we're moving house in 30-degree heat was not fun. But wasn't fun. But anyway, they turned off the internet on a Thursday. We didn't move house until Monday, so fuck knows why they turned the internet off so early. And then we got the internet back on a Wednesday. And I left for Greece on a Wednesday and wouldn't come back until the following Monday. So it perfectly lined up to mean I couldn't make videos for like the longest possible time. Which, you know, wasn't actually that long. But when you make videos as much as I do, it is kind of that long. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. That's kind of like where I went. I just literally physically couldn't upload anything, which is kind of funny. But then, you know what? So like I mentioned, right? I was in Greece with Lasagna. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that, because that was pretty cool. This was the first time either of us had, like, been away, like, outside the country on our own, which was interesting. I don't like flying, okay? I don't like... It's not that I'm scared of flying. I do not like doing it. It hurts, okay? It like really, I have a thing where like the pressure change when you're flying, it really hurts my ears. Like, oh my god, it's so painful. And I just don't like flying. So that was fun. And then you know, we're in a foreign country, which is great. Brilliant. Can't speak the language because you know, I'm English, right? We speak English, therefore everyone speaks English. That's the oh, they died. That's, you know, that's how it works. No. It was very, very hot. It was like 35 degrees, which for an English person is basically a million. And we actually got really lucky with the timing that we went there. Because the week before, it was 40-something degrees. And now that we've come back, it's 40-something degrees again. So, actually got quite lucky, which is very cool. Because it means we got to do a bunch of stuff. Like, we went to go to the Acropolis and, like, see, like, the Parthenon and stuff. And, the funniest part about it is, like, you can go Google what it looks like usually. It didn't look like that when we were there. Because they have building works on it right now. So we were giggling at, like, the scaffolding and brains and stuff there. I was like, yes, this is 4,000-year-old scaffolding and 4,000-year-old heavy machinery. The Greeks, they were so advanced. But, you know, who really cares? It was still cool to go there. Even if we couldn't really stay for that long because it was like 35 degrees and there was no shade. And we didn't want to die. Good thing that we went where we could though, because I got told by my Greek friend that it's closed now because of the heat. So we got quite lucky. Speaking of Greek friend, I got to meet my Greek friend. You know, he came down to Athens somehow because the night before, despite knowing that he had a 5-hour journey to go to Athens, he got piss drunk playing League of Legends. And then missed his first bus because he was drunk. Then asked someone for directions, got told the wrong directions, missed his second bus, and then finally got here about 6 hours after he was supposed to. So that was funny. That was quite funny. It doesn't really matter though. Still got here. Still had a good time. Got some food. Turns out there's some really nice burger places in Athens, like really good. Like, okay, Greek food is good and all right. Like we got some like gyros. I don't know how you say it. It's basically like a kebab, but you hold it in your hand and it's a bit smaller. Very nice. But goddamn, there was some really nice burger places, and it was really cheap. It was quite funny talking to a Greek friend and being like, yeah, like stuff costs this much in England, and he was like, just tweaking at the fact that our water costs like £1.50 here, and it's like 50 cents in Greece. That was quite funny. That was quite funny. It was also, I'm just gonna expose him. It was his first time ever seeing a self-checkout. So, like, you know, we met up, it was really warm, we want to go get a drink, so we go to a Lidl. If you're European, you'll know what a Lidl is. If you're not European, it's a fucking it's a supermarket, okay? Like, and so we're just at this Lidl, and you know, when me and Lasagna, we don't buy anything. But he buys a drink, and some food, and then we go to the self-checkout. We're like, oh, there's self-checkouts. And then he tells us that he's never used a self-checkout before. They just don't have it where he lives. Keep in mind, he doesn't live in a village, he lives in a city. They just don't have it. That was very funny. So he's like proper confused at the self-checkout. I can't really help him because it's all in Greek. I can't understand it. And then the cashier comes over and starts speaking in English, being like, you know, fucking stupid-ass tourists can't use our self-checkouts. So we start speaking in English, trying to explain how the self-checkout works. But then our friend starts speaking Greek to him, and I don't know what he's saying, but I can only assume he's like you know, like I'm the confused one. Like, how does this work? Like, I'm Greek, I speak Greek, you know. And I'm just wondering, what does this cashier think? Because he's come up to these like two obvious foreigners, right? Me and Lasagna, obviously a British guy and a Chinese, like you know, very clearly foreign, speaking English, and then this guy with them starts speaking Greek. Talking about how he is the one confused with the self-checkout. That must have been an interesting moment for the poor cashier. But also, it was really funny. Honestly, hasn't used a self-checkout before. He will never live this down. Do not worry. I will never allow him to live this down because it's very funny. I mean, like, you know, over here in England, we have self-checkouts for literally everything at this point. Like you can get a self-checkout for IKEA. You can get a self-checkout for, like, quite literally everything. Like you name it, it probably has a self-checkout. But apparently that's just not a thing over there. And apparently paying by card also isn't really a thing outside of Athens. I got a lot of, like, lore that you wouldn't get if you're a normal tourist from, you know, having a friend who lives there. And apparently they just... A lot of places they just use cash. Which, again, very strange if you're in England, because everywhere uses card. Even, like, ice cream vans here take card now. And they were like, you know, they were like the things in the country were like, oh, these don't take card, you know, like, they were like known for, you need cash to use an ice cream, to pay an ice cream van. Okay, quick question for you still watching this. Are ice cream vans a British thing? Are those things, like, outside of England? Like where, like, a van comes along and they serve, like, you know, soft serve ice cream, usually? And like, is that a thing? That can't be a British thing, right? But anyway. Everything here uses card. Literally everything. But apparently they just don't there. Which, that was, again, very weird. Very weird. But they do in Athens, so we were chilling. Athens itself, was, we were in, at least, like, our hotel was in, apparently, not a very nice area. But it was also, like, a 10-minute walk to, like, the main tourist spot, which was, that was pretty cool. There was a lot of stuff. Who could have guessed? There was a lot of random, very, very random things you wouldn't expect. Like, there was a bubble tea shop. Obviously, bubble tea isn't, like, you know, crazy. Wasn't expecting to have it in Greece. Just wasn't, like, on my radar. I was like, oh, they'll have this. Because, like, it's a very common thing in England, right? But, like, well, I say it's a very common thing in England. It's a very common thing in, like, large towns. Not where I live. Speaking of ice cream vans, holy fucking jumps. One just came out. I don't know if that came through on mic, but one, like an ice cream van just started blaring its little tune right outside. That's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of where I've been. That's what I've been doing. I have been going outside, touching grass, having a lot of fun with the lasagna. Wasn't making any videos because I didn't have any internet. That was a brilliant railcoin. That's what I've been up to, gang. There's a day in the life of linguine and lasagna, and I forgot to kill the enemies in the room off to the side. Whoopsie doodle.